What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm here at Mountain View Cemetery in Oakland, California. And on my last video we did right there, Millionaire's Row. Now we're just going to walk over here and look at some of these other interesting graves and mausoleums and stuff. And this is a very interesting pathway. It's full of grass. Makes me wonder if at one time it wasn't grass and it just grew here over the years. Excuse me, still feeling a little under the weather, but let's walk around here and see what we can see. It's a rock right here, big rock in the middle is interesting. Jay Geitchen. Yeah. Interesting here. Interesting. Let's see what we got over here. Walk out from underneath these trees. Is this like the main monument? Interesting. Now I don't see any names. I don't see any stones. Just this one big boulder sitting here. This must be the deal here. Huh. I guess they were a very simple family. There's the Parker family. Wow, we got a top Ann Norton, October 23rd, 1908. In the middle here, Henry Parker, a native of Staten Island, New York, died in Napa Valley, California, March 25th, 1888, aged 72 years. On the bottom there, we got a Rachel Norton, but there's no dates for her. And then on the top left, William Dalany, but there's no dates. In the middle here is Isabella Parker, no dates. And Margaret Norton on the bottom here left. Again, no dates. There's only 2 individuals in here that have dates. That's it. Look at this big tall monument out there in the distance. Let's go over here and see what the deal is on this one. It's even got a star at the top of it. Very interesting. This cemetery has got a lot of people in here that were known in the area, or just known in the world for something. A lot of times, I haven't seen it in a while, but I used to see a lot of field trips, children's schools coming in here for the historical aspect, I'm sure. All right, Cogswell. I think it's got a light up star on the top. It might be a light up one. But, wow. Very interesting here. Henry Daniel Cogswell died July 8th, 1900. 80 years, 4 months, 5 days. Caroline. Died February 16th, 1902. Aged 79 years, 11 months, 13 days. So they died within 2 years of each other. Henry and Caroline. Interesting. It says on there, that's a bust of him. Benefactors of mankind, I claim as my brethren, Dr. Henry D. Cogswell, SF USA, AD 1865. It says here he was a dentist, a land speculator, temperance leader, and he founded Cogswell Polytechnic Institute in 1888. Ew, I guess he was a dentist by trade. So this must be, I wonder if this is like a cenotaph or something. I'm not sure, because it says he built a mausoleum here somewhere in the cemetery, unless this is considered the mausoleum, which I don't think it is. But it says after the services, his remains were cremated. So I'm not really sure if he's actually laid to rest right at this spot, or if there's it said he built a mausoleum somewhere in this cemetery. So I don't know, but he donated a lot of money to like education and stuff, it seems like. Built the Polytechnic Institute and all that. This one is the Hewes family. I do believe David Hewes was the name of the gentleman. Now, last time I was here, this one right here had a lot of damage on the inside. There was just rubble coming down all over the inside of this thing. I don't know if anything's changed since the last time I was here, but let's check it out. Yeah, it looks like it was somewhat cleaned up. There's a lot of still like debris in here, but there was a lot of stuff coming apart in here really bad. That was on the floor. So I think they had somebody had come and cleaned up. See around the windows there, the molding around the windows where that was coming down all up in here. There's dust on the bench there. So it's David Hewes, born in Lynnfield, Massachusetts, May 16th, 1822, died in Orange, California, July 23rd, 1915. Yeah, Hewes is associated with the construction and completion of the first transcontinental railroad. Although he was an enthusiastic supporter rather than being directly connected with the construction thereof, he provided a golden spike marking the completion of the railroad, and also he planned the connection of the railroad's company's wires to Western Union, so the taps of the silver hammer driving the golden spike at Promontory Summit, Utah could be heard instantaneously coast to coast. So he provided a golden spike marking the completion of the railroad. And it says he was also a businessman. He opened a general merchandise store in Sacramento, California in 1850. So that's how he, I guess, achieved his wealth. He had businesses and stuff. Interesting. Behind the Hewes monument here, we're back at the Cogswell, excuse me, one. It just takes up so much room. I didn't really show it before, but this big old monument here takes up a ton of room. And there's all kinds of greenery around it. Huge. So we go from this beautiful green, it looks like it's a pretty well taken care of side, to across the road here. And I would assume this patch in here with graves with no to or very little grass, I would assume this might be the non-endowment care section where there is no money to really maintain this place much. On this side, I have never been down here. Broken stones. It's weird how you go from one side of the road to well kept to the other side of the road where there's no money to keep it up. But this is my guess that it's non-endowment. Kind of like that's part of the cemetery that Tyler and I found over there in El Cerrito, California at that one cemetery. But then you go over here and the grass starts again. Really nice. But look at this one. This stone's all busted up. Can't really read it. Some of these stones are really oh boy. In loving memory of Richard Townsend, who entered into rest Easter even AD 1889, aged 84 years. Here's a border of a grave here. The stone is completely busted up, gone. Some of these stones are on their backs. This is really sad. Jane, daughter of Fulton and Octavia Hutchinson. That's all it says. Memory of Jane. Matthias Jacobson, born January 5th, 1851, died February 4th, 1906. Sophie, born March 26th, 1888, died June 15th, 1888. Wow. I wonder when people bought their plots in here, if they knew this was going to be like a untaken care of area eventually, someday. Was it before there were endowment funds? Very possibly, because I don't know how far back, like when the endowment funds first started at you know, cemeteries. I have no idea how far those go back or when they started, but this is crazy. This one's rubbed out right here. I see an inscription on it, but yeah. George Jacobs, possibly, but yeah. I feel bad for these individuals. Like I said, I wonder if they knew someday this was going to be an unkempt, broken down area. Can't even read the name on that. Emilia, I think it says daughter of Gustave Olsen. All I can read at the very bottom, it says age 28 years. And that's where the grass starts again, right there. Crazy. In memory of Georgiam Christensen, born July 24th, 1859, died March 25th, 1888. Keep seeing sketchy individuals, kind of like, I think the sketchy individuals come out to the side to kind of camp out, because I saw some guys sitting and I'm not sure. Thought I saw the same guy come out from behind one of the mausoleums when I was up on Millionaire's Row, but he's over there somewhere under the trees. So I'm not going to try to disturb this guy or anything, but look at this one. Frank. Oh, God, I can't make it the last name. It has an anchor on it, so he's probably some kind of sailor. But I can't make out the last name. Is it D-C-A-T? Deet? Can't tell. God, I've never been to this part of the cemetery before. Never. Border. Being the border is so small, I would assume maybe it's a child. Because the border around it's very, very small. Gotta be careful, there's a lot of gopher holes in this place too. A lot of these broken down ones. It's sad. Yeah, this is a very little, I'm sure very, very little visited spot in here. Yeah, this is a new one for me. Some of those, the stone's completely gone, like that one. It's another one with a small border. Lloyd, it says on it. God. Was this the bargain basement section? But like I said, when people bought their plots here, did they know this was going to be, you know, and they just all they could afford, or I don't know. Or was it nice and green before and they were kind of sold a bill of goods, not realizing, well, not really a bill of goods, but just not realizing later it would fall into this kind of shape. I misspoke, not a bill of goods. You know, they weren't ripped off, I'm not saying, by the cemetery. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, yeah, they maybe didn't know it was going to turn into this 100 years from when they were buried, or you know, or over 100 years. Albert Schucky, born in Kansas City, July 19th, 1883, died July 20th, 1887. Yeah, I do believe it's got a number on it. But yeah. Edwin Busby Jr., 24 years. Mary Busby, 25 years. Edwin Busby Sr., 52 years. Elizabeth Busby, 21 years. Interesting. No dates. Oh, I didn't know this spot existed. Excuse me, guys. This little family plot area looks like it's just in shambles. This one's got stuff grown over it. This was, I think, a woodman of the world. That's a, yeah, it looks like a, wow. Albert Athey, born September 20th, 1866, died 1910. Yeah, he was a woodman of the world. It's the tree stump looking stone. And I think at the bottom I saw woodman of the world. underneath the vegetation here. The memory of H.B. Hill, a native of Mount Vernon, I think it's Maine, died January 28th, 1894, age 75 years, 7 months, 12 days. Another small, it's covered, but there's another small, couple of other small borders here. More children, I would assume. Yeah, this side, so sad little side. Well, that was sad, but that was a new discovery in this cemetery here. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and if you are digging this, give me a subscribe if not already subscribed. Thank you all so much.